With the 40th selection in the 2023 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Isaiah Foskey, defensive end, the University of Notre Dame. Really interesting selection here. Isaiah Foskey, throughout this process, we talk about what he was projected at before the season. A guy that, if he took the next step, could potentially be a first-round pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. We know that the 2022 season for Foskey was a little bit up and down, but still obviously ended his career as the all-time leading sacker in the history of Notre Dame football with 26 and a half career quarterback sacks. Was able to parlay that success into not only a Senior Bowl invite, but also a 2023 NFL Scouting Combine invite where he showed up. We'll just coin it like that. At 6'5" and 1/8, 264 pounds with 34-inch arms, ran 4.58. Also had a 35-inch vertical. Tested all around as an excellent athlete. So despite some inconsistencies during the 2022 season, which had some NFL evaluators, some very trusted eyes in the business, projecting him more in the third-round range, which was a far cry, obviously, from the first-round evaluation. After the combine, we were left to think that we were going to meet somewhere in the middle. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened here. He ends up being the 40th overall selection, close to being a very borderline first-round pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. And we're banking on upside here, obviously, with an Isaiah Foskey. At the 6'5" plus, 264 pounds and 34-inch arms, this is how you draw it up from a defensive end perspective. He's long, he's powerful, he's explosive. Ran, again, 4.58 at that size, which is just a tremendous, tremendous time, which showcases on film why you see so much linear explosiveness. His first step, he can really get out of his stance and he can really eat up ground in a hurry. Not to mention, he really is a speed-to-power converter. So he's able to turn that momentum into power, really wins down the chest of offensive linemen with the length that he has. We know that he needs to improve his pass rush plan as a rusher, add an arm over, add a club rip, inside counter. There's things that you can add to the repertoire for a guy like Isaiah Foskey, but the raw tools are why he is coming off the board with the 40th overall selection on top of the production he had. Enticing football player whose best football is clearly still ahead of him, which is why the New Orleans Saints opted for this selection with the 40th overall selection in the 2023 NFL Draft. The defensive end position is one where not only is it incredibly valuable, ability to get after the quarterback, but the New Orleans Saints are in a little bit of a transitional period of understanding where the pass rush is going to come from for the foreseeable future. We know we have Cameron Jordan. Cam has been a absolute stalwart for the New Orleans Saints since coming out of the University of Cal, Berkeley, several years ago now at this point. A Pro Bowl, all-pro caliber defensive end, but he needs his running mate on the other side of him. Was Marcus Davenport, former first-round pick out of the University of Texas San Antonio. Obviously, he left the team this offseason. So now they are left to find a partner in crime. They have guys like Carl Granderson on the roster, who's been a seldom used but somewhat productive pass rusher with opportunity, and then also former first-round pick Peyton Turner, who is not quite panned out for this team. So there is a major need of secondary and supplemental pass rushers for this team. Think immediately, day one, Isaiah Foskey is able to come in and he'll have a role on this football team. Granderson probably starts out most of the year, but I think eventually Foskey in year one takes over the reins, and by year two, he is a full-time starter for the New Orleans Saints. And the best part about this fit is not only do I think that it really helps the pass rush from day one for the New Orleans Saints, I also think that this is one of the more beneficial landing spots for a player like Isaiah Foskey. With the raw tools he has, but understanding that you need still nuance as a pass rusher, you need to improve that pass rush plan. Not many players that I would love him to be around more than a guy like a Cameron Jordan, who's been there, done that. Also a freak show athlete when he was coming out of Cal, but he has really developed that hand nuance, the ability to work speed to power, but also hit some inside counters, win the outside track with good hand usage. That's the missing element to Isaiah Foskey. And if Isaiah Foskey can actualize that nuance and the advanced hand usage and understanding of how to attack opposing offensive linemen, he has a chance to be clearly special in the NFL because there's not a lot of guys that look like Isaiah Foskey. He is how you draw it up. So being around a guy like Cam Jordan, on top of his immediate impact to potentially get reps to get after the quarterback, love the move for Isaiah Foskey. Coming just 5 selections after Michael Mayer was selected 35th overall, Isaiah also became the highest drafted defensive end for Notre Dame since 1997. That was Ronaldo Wynn, the last defensive end to be selected in the first round coming out of Notre Dame. I want to thank you all for tuning into this video. We'll have a lot more draft coverage for you all here on the Irish Breakdown Podcast.